Hey, my name is Tommy. I'm the designer of The Dawn of Pangaea, and for the ones of you who know Forest of Pangaea, today I want to explain a little bit about the differences between these two games, why they look similar and why they're actually completely different. The Dawn of Pangaea has its roots in Forest of Pangaea. It's set in the same universe. But I have redesigned the mechanics from the ground up. What I kept are the trees, obviously. I kept many concepts that you are familiar with, but I changed pretty much everything else. Let's start with the similarities. You still have lands, you have your forest, and you have your spirit. And you have to complete rituals to earn points. But when it comes to your turn, everything changes. In Forest of Pangaea, you have very strict phases in your turn. In the Dawn of Pangaea, you have actions that you can take. It makes it harder to predict what your opponent will do and gives you more freedom of choice. The role of your spirit changed completely. In the Forest of Pangaea, the spirit was used to place seeds anywhere on the map. In the Dawn of Pangaea, use the spirit to grow seeds instead, which means you place your spirit in a water space, and every seed around that space will grow and become a tree. Also the seeds of your opponents. That means there's much more positive player interaction, where other players benefit from your spirit being moved to a certain place. There's also much more water in the world now. And I like that because before the world was very uniform, and now the water creates different continents and water segments. And that's why the spirit can also be used as a bridge, as a connection between 2 points. I included a completely new ritual type, which are the creatures. The creatures now come and live in your forest if you have the right weather resources. In Forest of Pangaea, you have the concept of blessings that were used to add an extra unpredictable element to the game. Now, blessings returned to the Dawn of Pangaea, but in a slightly different shape. These are blessing tokens that are lying on the world in certain places, and you can collect them with your spirit and use them still as extra actions depending on when you need them. And last but not least, we have the Ancient Guardians. So depending on which ritual you play, you can gain their favor and get an extra edge. You might notice these 3 different symbols on the ritual cards. Those are actually the shell of a turtle, the feather of an eagle, and the paw of a bear. You can collect those tokens here. If you're able to combine those, you can summon an ancient, place it on the map, and let it work its magic. The ancient Kelon can connect different lands together. So if you play a land ritual, it can act as a land bridge. Additionally, every time you place it, you can collect an extra element from the lands around it. The bear Okuma instead helps you grow your forest in areas that your spirit doesn't touch. That means if you place the bear somewhere and there's a seed on that space, anytime another spirit starts to grow anywhere on the world, Okuma is activated and will grow its seed as well. Afterwards, it moves to another space. And finally, Thorondal. Thorondal is the protector of the trees, which means in that round you play Thorondal, that tree is protected from decay. Additionally, Thorondal helps to attract a certain type of creature. Depending on the biome that Thorondal is sitting on, creatures that require a weather token from that biome are easier to attract. And finally, there's the scoring mountain, where you can use one of your seeds to place and track your score to see who has the upper hand. So this pretty much sums it up. This is the base version of the Dawn of Pangaea. But you might ask yourself, are there still the treetops? What about the player boards and so on? The issues I had with Forest of Pangaea was that it was a very expensive game to produce. So the price point I had to put on the retail market was relatively high. And I didn't really like that and wanted to make it more approachable. And that's why I moved the treetops and the player boards into an expansion. That expansion is called Wildwood. Wildwood comes with a twist because the player boards now have slots where you can place blessings. So I connected the blessing and the player board mechanic, and that makes the player boards more interesting. So whenever you unlock a treetop, you also gain this extra action that you can play whenever you want. The treetop mechanic changed as well. You can still place your treetops on top of your trees, obviously, but the higher the tree is, the further you can plant your seeds on the map. This is it from my side. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you liked Forest of Pangaea, the predecessor, I'm sure you will fall in love with the Dawn of Pangaea. Thanks for watching. My name is Tommy. Goodbye.